So this is a continuation from my retouching video on this picture, and this was the before and that was the after. So if you want to learn how to do that, go ahead and click the link. It's going to either be in the description or in this video. So if you want to check out how I did that, that's where to find it. Now we're going to be focusing on the coloring of this image. So I took this around golden hour when the sun was setting. It was a little bit above her head, so that's how I got this look. And I'll also have a behind the scenes of this shoot so you can see exactly kind of the atmosphere that this photo was taken. So let's just get right into not the retouching, the coloring of this picture. The first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to pull up a gradient map. So layer, new adjustment layer, and then gradient map. And I'm looking for a specific color for this, so I'm going to click this, and I am going to choose, I don't think I have it here, it's going to be a light yellow color to like a regular yellow. The theme is the sun for the, no, I'm just joking, there's no theme. Like, imagine I did like a theme. The theme of this coloring is eggplants. Oh my god, pizza! Oh, I love pizza. Okay. So, basically, gradient map, light yellow to yellow, doesn't really matter on, what colors they are, just as long as, you kind of feel them out to whatever your personal preference is. And we're going to set this to screen. And you really can't see her now. You obviously, this is not the final product, so you're going to want to lower the opacity to 16%. And this is just bringing out all those darker colors here. The next thing that I'm going to do is go to curves, so layer, new adjustment layer, and then curves. Now we're going to stay on RGB, and this is going to be a very simple curves layer. I'm going to make like an S shape, like a kindergarten S. This is how you would write it, an S. So it's just popping out that color. And depending again on how crazy you are, you can do this if you want. So I'm just going to keep it pretty simple. But you see, without the gradient map, look how the picture would have turned out. So it really does make a difference. At first, you probably wouldn't think it makes a difference, but it really does when it all comes together. The next thing that I'm going to do is layer, new adjustment layer, and then black and white. And I'm going to set this layer from normal to soft light. And you can toggle, some of the colors here. I usually only toggle the reds, so I'm just going to higher this. And I'll show you what difference that makes. Everything really does make a difference. I'm going to keep this at 100% for now, but you can change this. The next thing that I'm going to do is go to layer, new adjustment layer, and then color balance. And the midtones, I'm going to keep them. Actually, no, I'm going to change all the midtones. This is going to be negative. I wrote down specific numbers, but who cares? Like one off is not going to kill anybody. Okay, it's pretty good. And preserve luminosity, make sure that is checked off. And now I'm going to add some color bubbles in here. Command Shift N. I'm going to actually change this. I'm going to lower the opacity on the color balance. Now I'm going to go back to that empty layer that I just made, and I'm going to use what I refer to as color bubbles. I don't know what the formal name is for this. You can sample a color from the picture that you're using, but I'm going to use an orange color, which reminds me of, ice cream, like orange popsicle, which I really love right now. So I'm going to go from normal to screen and just start stamping, I guess. Have fun. I love doing this. Using a lower opacity is ideal. You don't want it to be too overwhelming. So I just kind of there's really no technique to this, guys. Anyone who tells you there's a technique is lying. You just kind of, look at it and then, oh, I'll add this here. I avoid the face area, obviously, but I'm adding, and then I'm just lowering the opacity. And then I'm going to do the same thing again, make another new layer, change the color very slightly, maybe a little bit more yellow. go from normal to overlay. And same exact thing. Again, you don't want to do this. You do not want to touch the face. I would just go around the actual image. And a tablet really helps because then you can kind of do streaks and stuff like that. And again, lowering the opacity because you don't want it to be too overwhelming. And then the next thing that I'm going to do is go to the top layer, hold Shift, and select the very bottom layer. And then press Command G, and this is going to create a group. Now, the reason why we're making this group is because I actually liked the background a little bit more exposed. So what I'm going to do is make a mask on this entire layer. So press the mask button. Now press D so that the colors are default, and you want to choose the black color, and you want to make sure that your opacity is at 100%. So what's going to happen now when I mask out this area is it's going to bring all of that picture back in, and I just want the background to be back. I don't want any of the other picture. For instance, if I went over her face, it's going to bring back the original photo, which is not what I want. So again, just masking out the background will bring back the original background. And you can control the opacity of what you want this to be. I could lower this to about 70 and then go back to white and kind of go over it if you want it to be a little lighter. So something like that. If you wanted it to be a little lighter, I'm going to show you the difference of what that makes. I hope that I could. Actually, I'm just going to show you guys the before and after, and then you guys can judge for yourself. I think it does look better with the mask. So for instance, without the mask, it would look like that. So it would be like a loss of detail. So when you bring the mask back in, it kind of adds that detail back. It makes it look a little bit more natural. And you can always add, if you change your mind, you can always add to certain places. I'm going to go back to my colors, and the very last thing that I'm going to do is just add, actually I'm sorry, go on top of the main folder, make another new layer, so make sure this layer is on top of everything. I'm going to call it black edges. And again, this layer is going to be on top of the colors folder that you just created. And using a black color, going from normal to overlay, just kind of going over the edges. And then I'm using just a regular round brush, by the way, just to kind of bring out the edges a little bit more. And I'll show you guys what difference that makes. And you could stop here. You could say this is, I like this look. I am going to add one more curves layer, or actually just tweak the curves layer that I already have. But this is just because I'm super picky, by the way, you guys. You don't have to do this. So you see how all the layers kind of work with each other? And I always go back and I tweak each and every one. Or I add certain things to some. And I'm just going to add to that screen layer just a couple more. Just want it to be a little bit more airy. I don't even know what that means, but they say it on TV, so okay. So I think that looks pretty good. And yet I keep adding stuff to it. Okay, I certainly have a problem. Okay, I think that's good. I'm not going to, experiment with this anymore. So this is the final product, and I'll show you the complete before and after. So this is before, and this is after. And I'll do closer. So this is before, and this is after. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave any suggestions you guys have in the comments, and yeah, thank you guys so much for your support.